learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming into June 20th, 2020, and the stock market is going to go crazy. We have a lot of important biotech vaccine news that is supposed to come out tomorrow morning, but then we have earnings season, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you're ready. But we're going to get Microsoft, Tesla, some of the social media stocks, Snapchat and Twitter, but then we are going to get a lot of the chip makers, and that is going to open up an opportunity for the earnings plays next week after this week, so I hope you're ready. We got a lot to talk about. We have a lot even from last week. Don't forget we had Netflix and some of the mini earnings and even some of the biotech stuff, so this week should be excited. I hope you're ready. I got the plays for you. I have 3 specific stocks that are reporting that I'm looking at. We have plays in some of them. We did make some plays on Friday, so we're going to go over those. I have the keys, kind of what to be watching out for, and that is pretty much it. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life, and you could get the fastest stock news in the world. That's not a recommendation. I'm traditionally can't lose a bunch of financial, cash on purpose only. Thank you, everyone, for the day. But, you know, I mean, actually, just go check comments. Can you, tell them, and you'll have a lot of fun. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. And please, 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 let's make this a special one for earnings. We have the random account. So here on the Sunday night watch list coming into Monday morning, what we do is we have it's a science experiment. We want to see the performance if you just traded one time a week, the random just trades you see on the internet. So that is what we have this random account for. So we started this in the beginning of the year. You could see what happened. All we ask from you, you post a specific option trade below in the comments. In the morning, we're going to do a random comment generator, and we're going to pick it. So we'll spend up to $100, put a specific expiration, stock, everything. And if you get selected, we buy it in the morning. Let's make it special. You know, time is always good, and ones that cover earnings. So thank you for those who participate. I look forward to seeing those and trading them. And here's even just a little, you could take a look. We still have that one. Oh, wait, did that one Microsoft expire? I think it did. Oh, man, I thought we had that for earnings. Well, here all we have left, but good luck, and I can't wait. But right off the bat, the first thing is there's big bio news. So we saw some of that run up on Friday. You can't forget how the whole S&P and everything looked. We really didn't do much. The last few days have been very categorically earnings mode, earnings run up, especially until some of these big companies report. So that's why this week in like Microsoft, the chip makers, and some of that IBM, that could tell us some stuff, but we also have to keep in mind the S&P is like a giant biotech. All of this vaccine news is very important. We saw Astrazeneca, we're in that play, but they're the one who's going to have a report tomorrow. But we pointed this out the other day that you're seeing this weird uptrend with this round of vaccine news. In the past, it was they would pop off of it and come down. That's pretty normal for a biotech. But now this is where it gets crazy, because usually in the biotech world, if it has that good news, it pops and then it doesn't come down. Well, this could lead to some mania. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I think this is important in and of itself, just how when we first talked about the biotech gold rush, but now this could be a shifting point. If all of these vaccines, if more news comes out, it pretty much we're going to enter in a whole nother stage or cycle of kind of the winners and losers, and that could do stuff towards price. So I'm holding on to those plays. We have those. That is going to be something very, very important tomorrow. But at the end of the day, earnings is still around the corner. So now there's 2 different things going on here. We have an important week here, but it's still not the biggest one. So relatively speaking, this week is still very light. However, now we have enough for some big moves. So Microsoft, Intel, IBM, those are big companies right there alone. And just like we saw with Netflix, hopefully you guys have been paying attention to these watch lists. If not, it's still very, very early in earnings season. So if you guys really want to learn how this works, or at least get a good learning experience for the memory bank, go watch all of the last week watch lists all the way up until Netflix. You got to see Netflix on Thursday, Friday. You're going to see Netflix tomorrow, but now this same concept is going to apply for a lot of these companies. So now you're not going to get all the leaders, and this is one example I'll bring up, but Apple, they're one of the bigger companies. They report in about 2 weeks here, or next week, not this week, but now with like Intel and Skyworks reporting, however these companies do, they're tied to Apple in a way, and it could give you an idea or more insight into how those companies performed, especially if they're big partners with Apple. It tells you a lot about the other industries, and as well as how is the investment community really taking these reports. I think Jim Cramer over the weekend said that investors want to sell regardless of earnings. Well, you don't really know that until you see all of the earnings and what do they like, what don't they like, how do they bid up, good news, bad news, etc. So that's going to be important though. We have these big earnings. I hope you're ready for that. But those two things, I pretty much think virus slash the vaccine, biotechs, that is going to be the important part. But then there's going to be the whole earnings and what they do. It could be like last week where there's still decent size moves, but the market still kind of cucks a little bit just because it really wants all the data and then some of the bigger, again, leaders that have been keeping the market up. So that's important. Finally, as far as economic data this week, you're going to get some real estate data, existing home sales, and that could lead to a play like Redfin, if you guys remember a few months ago. But we'll watch that data and see. There's going to be like PMI data, but nothing really too crazy. I think there's some basic initial claims or jobs reports like that, but it's clear what the market really is going to be focusing on. And this week and even next week, and even then, we had a little bit of the Fed, that primary dealer facility stuff, that will come up. But the data is important, but I think Wall Street wants to see more of it reflected through earnings. And then probably in like a month and a half, 2 months, that data will start to get really, really important again. So that's my time frame. That's my estimate. That's what I'll be looking at as far as this week. This isn't just for tomorrow, but we will update these periodically. So we really, really like earnings. It is popping every quarter. It is earnings season, my friend. Like we are chewing on the mic, I am aware that you heard we are eating. So we are going to cover every single earnings on here as they come. And, you know, our attitudes could shift as one comes out and another. We'll talk about the premiums and all that. So stay tuned with all the other watch lists. But these are the main ones this week. If you guys have any other companies that are important that we missed, again, we set up for some like ServiceNow and ANET last week or a few weeks ago. So if there's anything that reports today and I miss it, please comment that below. But this week, we're going to have IBM, Microsoft, Tesla, Snap, Texas Instruments. You're going to get some of the airlines like United Airlines, some of the biotechs like Biogen, casino stocks like Las Vegas Sands, AT&T, Intel, and Skyworks. Now, like I'm saying, this is not a comprehensive list, but these are stocks that I know kind of have some effect and could do bigger moves or are just more important. I usually don't like the airlines and the casino stocks, but I guess given this earnings, you might be able to trade them. But all the other ones, I think those are companies that could make big moves and could have some exciting responses or at least move the market. So those are going to be important to follow. But like I said, we will update this throughout. But that is pretty much it. I hope you guys are ready. I wouldn't be surprised to even see other news kind of come in if it's bombshell lately, just with the virus and how things are, if there's a random shutdown or reversion, and then also on the same thing with some of the positive virus news. So we will see. I hope you're ready. It is earnings. It is going to get crazy, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have 3 different plays for you guys. One, you guys know it, Snapchat. I'll give you the best one that I like, but I need to see it. So I'm telling you about this. I haven't made this trade. They have earnings. I want to see stuff. It all depends on the premium. And what do I mean by that? Go watch the watch list from last week, even about, I think all last week. Remember, I was showing you kind of the contracts that could frog and playing the pre-earnings run-up. I think that was 2 weeks ago. But the idea here is that if TXN, Texas Instruments, if the premium is cheap, this is one of those low-key runners. It's a big-name company. We've played it before. You guys have seen me hit 1,000%ers on Texas Instruments. That's why I'm bringing this up. I like it, but if and only if the premium is good. So we're going to be looking at that in the morning. Hopefully, we see you there. And again, I think they report later, like Wednesday or Thursday, so we will be willing to wait. But at the beginning of the week, even from today till they report, I will be watching Texas Instruments. I don't have a play. I don't know if I'm going to make a play, but I have to see the premium. So watch that. That's the first one I'm going to be looking at. that. Now, the next one is Snap. Obviously, there is going to be Microsoft and IBM. I might play. What I'm going to be doing is checking the criteria on a lot of these. We have earnings criteria. If you don't know what it is, you could watch the old video. It's called How I Turned 160 into 1600 Trading Tesla. But I'm sure as we get into this earnings season, we might bring it up again. But it's a good video if you want to get ahead. But I like IBM and Microsoft. I already have the play on Microsoft. I think I'm only puts, but we will see. But for the most part, I don't have a play on Snap, and I want to see, but I'm really thinking Snap could be a mover before earnings and even after earnings. You can't forget, we love Snapchat. We have this in the long-term portfolio, but now from a trading perspective, it is entering in that IPO level at earnings. This is a key level for them. They're at all-time highs. They haven't been this high. What happens here will say a lot about their profitability. So it could get a little bit crazy here, or even it could be really disappointing. But at the end of the day, I think the follow-up at the very least should be good. So don't FOMO yourself out of this one, because Snap, again, you guys, we've been trying to get long-term shares. We have a lot of it, but it's been getting more expensive. I've sat out a little bit, but now even from the earnings perspective, watch the premiums. If it's too much, you don't have to play it. But if it does have a good earnings and breaks out and does crazy things, there will be a more than enough opportunity afterwards. So just keep that in mind, or at the very least, start looking at contracts, pay attention to the prices. And then finally, Netflix continuation. We talked about this, and surprisingly, Netflix didn't move. It didn't really give us too good of information, because at the end of the day, it ended up staying exactly in the range that was priced in. So you could kind of see it might wait for the other company. So it's going to pick a direction. I don't know which direction. Pretty much, if it could confirm another $30, $40 either up or down, that's the direction I'm going to pick, but it might wait for other earnings. However, the digestion from this move could create a big move. Again, Netflix has moved a lot, so I'm going to be looking out for that. We have that put play, but they got clapped like 50, 60%. So only way is if it confirms down, are those going to come back? If they do, we'll be good. If not, earnings would have been a dud, and we should have sold the premium on it, surprisingly. We'll see how that plays out, but those are the final plays. As far as everything else, I'm still looking at a bunch of different companies. We did make 2 more plays towards the end of the week, or on Friday. And again, Shopify, I talked about this one with you guys on the Friday watch list, or Thursday, just what I was saying with what Netflix showed and all that. So I got one put. I got an August 500 put at 185. It's pretty much a 50% drop. It's kind of crazy to think 500 is like right there for them. So, I mean, it's really, really, I mean, honestly, I really, and this is what I'm saying, the opportunity here is that, like, you look at the stock, it's like, yeah, a stock shouldn't drop 50%, but then it shouldn't go up 50%. Pretty much what I'm saying is that this $185 August put, again, if they have, again, depending on their earnings, but it's like so unreasonable, but it's reasonable, because 500 is still like, was their all-time high up until this year. I mean, there's a lot to it. So I like that play. It is a little bit expensive, but I like Shopify in general. And even what kind of Shopify just shows, this is going to be the opportunity and dilemma with these earnings, is that anything is possible, my friend. But then at the same time, it's like, what are you willing to pay for? It's going to have to really stretch your imagination, and possible and probable is very obscure to a degree here. So I hope you guys are ready. But there's that. Then I got UNH. I was expecting the UNH breakout. We've been looking at them. Remember, we burned a lot of play. Pretty much we burned week after week. I had that bigger position. I should have sold it out before earnings. We got clapped on it. We sold the small one on the small account, and that was good. But now they started going up. I put another 120, got a little bit of time, but it's like almost like a 20% move or something. So we'll see. But the idea is, if UNH does break out, that would be very, very good for them. And if it gets any of the hype from any of this vaccine stuff and all that. But those are pretty much it. It says I have Beyonds that expired. I know we did play Beyond too. So still watching those, and everything else setting into growth. I think Twitter reports as well too. We have those puts. Remember, we got those for different reasons, but they will cover earnings. So that's going to be good and bad, because we get to get the earnings, but then that means we paid a premium. But besides that, watch all those companies. Again, watch all the ones that report, and what happens with Skyworks, Texas Instruments, and Intel. It could tell us about Apple. So I might want to set up another Apple play, but again, I think we have some stuff. I don't think I have any calls on it, but depending on if any of those companies surprise, if any of those companies do really, really bad, it could clap Apple beforehand. So we'll see. Again, even watch what happens with Microsoft, but watch them. Watch all of the vaccine stocks. I'm still holding that Myrna. It's like $275 into 1,500. So we still have those. We still have the shares, but we're going to see pretty much tomorrow. I might decide to take profits or not. If the Astrazeneca is good and then it pops in the morning, I might sell off off in the morning because I'm going to be nervous for one of the big pops and then just sell off all day like we've seen. So watch out for that. Watch INO, all the vaccine stocks. Astrazeneca is going to be very important tomorrow. Again, we used to call this Astrazeneca slow. You guys remember it. Look how it's moving. It shouldn't move like this. So we still have that 65 call. Remember, we had 10 of them. I sold out 7 of them to get my money back because remember, it was moving so slow and then it got clapped and all of a sudden you just get like the most volume almost in like what? A very, this is a lot of volume at this. Again, it's just crazy. Astrazeneca shouldn't move like this. So we have those other calls for Astrazeneca, August 65. Those are 55 cents into $300 a pop. So we'll see. Still holding those, going to ride those out, but watch them and anything related to that. Watch Walmart. Again, they're kind of peaking. Remember, they did very, very good. They started breaking out, but Walmart likes to stay in certain ranges. Remember, it is not a growth stock. It's kind of like Abivai. That's what these stocks do. So keep that in mind, but watch them. Still in that play. We still have the earnings play set up for January and August, but I want to watch them to see if they rotate. So again, with all of the earnings, again, how I said it could affect Apple, all the companies are getting today or this week, watch out for Walmart to see how does the market respond. Do people rotate in and out of it or no? So watch them. Watch UNH. They said Myrna. Oh, don't forget about Boeing. Again, I have both those plays, my strangle from a few weeks ago. Even though stock hasn't done anything, they both went up in premium. I think something's going to happen with Boeing here again. Like I said, either at their earnings or after it. So get ready. I don't know if you're going to want to play. It's going to be a little expensive, but even with what I said about Shopify, I think anything is possible. So we're going to see. I might want to add that to my list. Depending on what happens in the market, Boeing could become very, very attractive as a black swan play. So we will see, but that is pretty much it. Watch TLT. Watch if it snitches or not. Again, all the other metrics we saw, but earnings is going to be important. The follow-up, any other news, and I hope you're ready. Keep the balances controlled, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to understand its earnings. You can't blow it all on one play. Don't listen to the YOLO demon. Keep him in the cage. Set the budget. Keep it small. They all expire or they make money. It's one or the other. Control it. You don't need a lot, and you have enough to do it, baby. But the cult loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.